Thanks, Alex. As Alex had mentioned, I was an investment banker for 18 years with Morgan Stanley and two other major financial firms, and I specialized in financing sports facilities and ballparks in particular. Some both large and small, and I represented both cities and towns and team owners in different financings. I wanted to mention just three that I think are particularly relevant here and talk for a second about some aspects of those transactions that are relevant to the project here in Malden. First, Camden Yards, where I had created the financing plan for it, testified before the legislature to help get it through, and then served as a lead banker on a $315 million bond issue for the to build the facility. The key thing there that I think is relevant here is I saw how important that type of facility can be in economic development in a city. And you've seen that with other sports facilities, like in Denver, where the Lodo, the lower downtown area, was completely transformed. Same thing in San Diego. And I think minor league facilities in particular are ones that can do an enormous amount to help with economic development in a city. The second one is a ballpark in Arlington where the Texas Rangers play. And that's a suburb of Dallas, a fairly large city. And I saw how important having that facility was to the culture and the spirit of the community, providing affordable family entertainment and giving a focus and putting the city on the map to some degree was something that was a real key with that facility. The third one and the last one is the Staples Center in Los Angeles, where the Lakers, the Clippers, and the LA Kings play. And they also do an enormous number of other events, concerts, and so on. That facility was entirely privately financed. And I saw how important some of the creative new means of financing can be towards doing that type of financing, some of which will apply to the one here. This so-called contractually obligated income, particularly the sponsorships and things such as the naming rights or naming rights for parts of the facility, not just the entire facility, and the premium seating, luxury suites, and so on, can pay for a large part, in that case, in a large city like that, all of the cost of building the facility to begin with. So the major question is this financing plan that's been presented feasible? Is it reasonable to think that you can raise the money to build it? And will it be successful when you do? And I think the answer, based on my experience of doing dozens of these facilities and seeing ones that work really well and seeing plans for ones that didn't occur, is that there's a very strong financing plan here. That there's a very strong yes on will this work. And the key criteria for that are the fact that this is an excellent location. The demographics are great, the parking, the transportation, other elements of it are there. It's also a great baseball market. There's local support, which was demonstrated here tonight with the community leaders speaking for it and folks here clearly being supportive. But there's also unmet demand for baseball as an entertainment here in Boston because Fenway sold out all the time and is quite expensive. Another factor is that there's a very experienced team that you've seen here featured tonight in the design, the engineering, the development, and particularly the management of it that will allow you to have some confidence that this will be done right and that the financing is something that will be done right as well. And lastly, and probably most importantly, is that there are very reasonable assumptions, in my opinion, for all of the financing elements. The costs of construction and operation have been assumed very reasonably. The revenues, the tickets, the sponsorships, concessions, premium seating, and so on are extremely conservative in comparison to facilities like the one for the Long Island Ducks and the St. Paul's Saints that are quite comparable facilities, the assumptions here for most of these elements are extremely conservative. So I'm personally confident enough with my experience in this that I am one of the investors in the project myself, and I wouldn't have done so if I didn't think it was financially feasible. I think you're going to have a very successful project. Thank you.